Hi, Gemini. Welcome back. We're here to do your remainder of April into early May love and life tarot reading. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Cross watchers are welcome as well. Interestingly enough, I think a lot of people watch Gemini. I just think as a sign, many Geminis are often in relationships anyway, can be not always easy to figure out, if I can say that, and not offending any of my Geminis. But there's that duality, kind of like with Pisces. I think Geminis are sometimes interestingly hard to figure out for certain people in relationships. So if you're here for that reason, maybe something will resonate with you about your Gemini or you. Always interchange the players in the story as needed. But this is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus as well, obviously. So for mid-April through early May, what's going on for Gemini? Let's see, I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot. Just kind of getting used to doing it. Okay. Slowing down. The Rebel, which is like the Knight of Discs, and the Emperor, and Courage, which I believe is like Justice. So let's see. Bottom of the deck is Consciousness, which is like an Ace of Swords. I just want to see, to be clear, if that is in fact, if that is Courage. Yeah, it's Justice. So okay, so Gemini. I think for a lot of you, there's an energy of I'm getting a feeling that this is a striving for balance and striving for integrating all that's going on for you recently, because in the middle of these two cards is this idea of breaking free. This specifically stands for not feeling like you want to be beholden to organizations, structures, having a greater independent identity. It's getting back or maintaining control in your life and with power. So if there's a slowing down, or if there's been a recent slowing down to focus on what matters to you, to focus on work, to focus on your goals, I think it means your goals and making really important decisions on what brings you growth. And there's an element with this card in this particular deck that has to do with the fine balance between you feeling like you have to take control and letting the universe take its control. Because when you think about it, you really don't have control over where like greenery, plants, seeds are going to really emerge, because it's just in the most uncanny way that we see, life amid the stones. And we could try to make that happen, but in reality, these kinds of things happen spontaneously around us. So I think it's a really, and we need to it's an allowing. There's an allowing energy here of karma, in a way, that whatever goes out, it's going to come back, that whatever, there's seedlings of things that happen and you do sow seeds, but in the end, there's a destiny associated with this. So if you've been in a relationship that has got you between, like, where do I focus? There might have been some chaos or something. I do believe there's been a balance of gaining back control, but recognizing that there is also a greater destiny in this picture. So I think that's really important for you, Gemini, is to think about you've been wrestling with where to put your focus, and yet it's really important to know that based on what you've done or based on what other people have done in this scenario, there's going to be a justice. There's going to be a balancing. There's going to be a destiny that has either shown itself to you recently or will be showing itself to you in the near future here. So you do have a strong desire, though, to break free. You literally see in this image the man is in the chains breaking free. He just does not want to be contained. So that is your overarching motivation in the recent past, Gemini. Better focus on what serves you, not feeling subscribed to organizations or others, really firing through with your heart, your passion, your freedom, trying to create your life, create change, but also a knowing that there's a destiny involved here. Maybe there's a destiny in this relationship. Maybe there's a bit of a connection that goes beyond the day-to-day and has a destiny energy to it. Hope that made any sense at all. Would love your comments during this reading, after this reading. So more in the present tense for Gemini. So let's see where we have. So yeah. So something might have happened that really rocked your world in some respects and caused this awareness that you're trying to create greater control and freedom. You literally have the control card right under the rebel and trying to maintain freedom and control. So big theme, excuse me, for Gemini in this reading. Big theme. This is like the King of Swords. Even with the geometrics in this image, I think we can't miss that there's a rigidity here. So it's like he's got his fists clenched and sitting in the throne, demanding control, maintaining control, and a very mental energy. So if you've been in your head recently in the current because you're trying to kind of think your way through this the upheaval or the awareness that came through out of upheaval, you've been trying to kind of think your way through how to deal with this for sure, and maintain some of your control, Gemini, in this scenario. So, and then we get the conscious card again. Okay. It has been something you've been thinking hard about. I mean, this is like the Nine of Swords. It's something that has occupied your energy. Maybe it's been energy draining and it's been occupying to the point of losing sleep, that classic, connotation. But, just gives you the full figure of worry, sorrow. Whatever this was, definitely pulled out the carpet from you, for sure. Somebody was not contributing to this relationship because it's on your mind in the future that there has to be an important give and take. You may have been the one. I'm not saying that you weren't the one withholding, but I'm thinking it didn't appear to me to be this way. But for some of you Geminis, you've been withholding. For many or most of you, someone else in this picture has been withholding, and it's just not been an even exchange. You've been putting in energy without getting your right rewards back, or without feeling like it's going somewhere, without feeling like somebody's giving you the proper recognition for what you've been contributing. So, excuse me, apologize. Again, we have the consciousness card. This was under the deck the first time. So you're definitely coming to a big realization around this, which is amazing. In the future, you're kind of getting a real handle on this. What does this mean for you? What was your role? maybe you have a role in this that you're just kind of now realizing, Gemini. That's just too many. So what else is in the near future for Gemini? But you're definitely having a good third eye awareness around all this. That comes from this sense of wanting to take control, wanting to be at the helm of change, at the helm of what you create in your life. You've been definitely put off kilter. So it is that feeling of naturally wanting to be back in control. I think what it may have been a conflict for you. Yeah, because what we have here is fighting, just like the Knight of Swords. And then with that, this card of the Page of Swords, which is, what are you thinking about this? You've got the Knight and the Page of Swords together. So a lot of cerebral, mental energy over this. Where are you locked in your mind still about this? It was a big enough deal. Gemini, it was a big enough deal that I think this is not going to... It's hard to relax on it. I'm just getting the feeling like it's really hard to let go and relax on it. You're still processing it on some level, and it's very natural that you would be. But between all these mental cards, Nine of Swords, Knight of Swords, and Page of Swords, definitely a feeling of being locked, despite your consciousness over this, and the idea that there's a greater destiny. I think sometimes when it gets so locked up or so like drastic or dramatic for us, there's almost nothing more that you can do than to throw up your arms to the fact that as much as I want control, there's a greater destiny at work. So I think that that's the root of what you've come to in the most recent past. I think you're battling yourself over that, over accepting that. There's a good deal of you that might be battling that reality and that knowing that you've gotten through your consciousness and through understanding the destiny element here. But there's still this ego. I mean, it's so hard to really fight the ego, but there's an ego response here that keeps you in your mind about it, trying to logic it out, trying to just process this sucker out. And unfortunately, it can just create a different kind of a spiral that doesn't really always help us, when ultimately you just want to get to some peace on this, okay? So ultimately you want to get to harmony and peace and put yourself in a new fruitful direction, like page of discs. This is like 10 of Cups. So you're thinking about what can be possible, what joy, harmony, and bliss and positivity and relationship and emotion that can be possible. Knowing that in order to get that, the advice would be you have to think about what serves you to be willing to walk in a new, abundant direction. And a rebirth awaits you. Because this is really equatable to the 10 of Swords. So this idea that, it's been painful. It's probably gotten as bad as it's going to get. But out of that scenario comes the possibility for greater things. That we learn from those anguishes and we learn from those lessons. And how can you take it forward to a new direction? And the Page is more junior. The Page, you're not there yet. But these are the proper beginning steps. And this to me, because it came first, is more like, how can you hold that vision of what you want? And even with this person's eyes closed, I think it connotes a definite, how do we hold the vision? I mean, if you can vision it, you can create it. I think we all know the brain is so powerful that it doesn't know the difference between fantasy, illusion, dreams, and reality enough that if you process it first with all the vividness and all the senses and all the descriptors and all the description of what you really want to be creating, this could be through journaling, meditation, repeated mantras, or whatever it needs to be. If it's about your deservingness, if it's about your worthiness and excitement to create, imagining it first in the mind's eye, imagining it first in your mind. You could even, obviously, again, write it down. And then you can walk forward toward each step you can take. What are the first few steps to create it? And ultimately, keeping hold of the knowledge that, see the brightness here, though, despite the trials and tribulations characterized by the lion in the clouds, look at the brightness coming out in music and sunshine. So there's definitely hope here for only better things. So, I wish you a lot of peace and luck with this for the next few weeks. Definitely, Gemini. And for those of you watching overall, and please comment. I would love for you to comment, like, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And I will see you again soon. I'm going to end it here, but a lot to think about. Good times coming, and that's definitely a positive message, and you deserve it. So, talk to you soon. Take care.